So the Indian Constitution demand was started from your 1934 by your M.N. Roy, and in 1935 the Indian Congress was like your officially formed. In 1935 Indian National Congress officially formed. Then in 1938, 3 years later than that, Jawaharlal Nehru joined Indian National Congress in supporting them and making free India and like voting for Indian citizens as of from your adult franchise. Adult franchise, not as of like your the person who's more educated would get voting rights. The person who is at this time 21 year plus would get the voting right. Then in 1939 demand of Jawaharlal Nehru was supported by Indian National Congress and passing a resolution. 1939 they passed a resolution, and 1940 the Britishers accepted their call. From which year till which year was the World War Two? So Britishers said that we will give you a new constitutional assembly, but we said no to that because they were saying first you come to a war, because war was from like 1939 till 1945, so like 1 year after that, so they were highly need in soldiers. So they said first of all you come with us in the war of World War Two, but we said that we would not come. For prior to that you make us our constitution, but Britishers says no. Then in 1942 Britishers said that we make your constitutional assembly constitutional assembly, but you have this is done first. And this mission was brought up by Cripps, Sir Standoff Cripps. Uh, he said that you will make you constitutional assembly, but you after that you have to come in the war. That is what they said, but we also rejected this. Now in 1946, after their war got ended, 1945, we they brought three guys: Sir Standoff Cripps, Lawrence, and basic as name Alexander. These three guys came to us, not us, but they form a cabinet mission, and in this mission the head was Lord Pathetic for Pathetic mission. Pathetic. And Viceroy was warrior at this time, Lord Walwell. And in this they just brought the constitutional assembly, and they said they would make one constitutional assembly for the nation, not two constitutional assembly, which was the demand for Muslim League. And they also rejected this demand, absurd demand for two constitutional assembly in a single nation. And now the constitutional assembly was formed. This composition of constitutional assembly had 389 members. Out of 389 members, the British India had 296, and the like a princely state have your something like 93, and the Brit and in the British India they had 296. After this, the 12 provisions, 11 governor provisions were there. which were your 11 governor provision, which was 292, and 4 chief commissioner provision, which was A, B, C, D. A for Allah, A for your Ajmer, B for Baluchistan, C for Kurg, D for Delhi. 11 provisions were like your UP, Bihar, Madras, Mumbai, Northwest Frontier, uh, Northwest Frontier, your Punjab, Sindh, uh, what else? Odisha. So yeah, there were quite a few. 11 there were out of this. Now these seats, the election was basis on like one seat in the 292 seats of British India, where one seat of that seat would have to be represented by your 1 million people, or you could say it was represented by 10 lakh, but 1 million people would represent one seat. And this thing is only represented in Hindu because Hindu was the main population at that time. Now the Muslim and Sikh, these two were said to be, they don't have to follow this rule because like they don't have that much population. So whatever layer population at a particular area representing the most, they would getting that seat from like a particular state or then district, or like in the whole like the your state. And this is a common thing, PRST, proportionate proportional representation of single transferable vote. This is thing which we use till now. Proportional representation is like your this thing, but now it is gone a much higher level. It is this is now, earlier it was this, and now it is MLA, total MLA upon total population into 1 by 1000. And single transferable is like this is on like the president, like supposedly this is candidate 1 2 3 4. This is the person who is going to vote 1 2 3 4, and these person should have 50 people backing them to vote the president. So supposedly one voting this guy one, and this guy two, this guy three, this guy four, and this guy second guy is voting this guy third, this guy second, this guy one, this guy four. This guy third guy is voting this guy third, this guy second, this guy one, this guy fourth. So obviously the third guy would win. This is proportionate representation of so this is single transfer vote. In this, a person who is backed up with 50 people, he have to vote every person on like a nominated list thing. Yeah, so now the 70 no 93 princely state, like there was a head which was like a king, and now he would send a person, like supposedly this is the guy, and now he would say that this is the guy who's representing this area, and he would be the head as of like the political head who is gonna govern here. Now after the election, the 292 seats were spread out as 208, or like 296, you could say. 208 went to your British India, your 73 to Muslim League, and 15 to other. Now, after this all thing would happen, now we were forming our constitution. So, making of constitutional assembly. Constitutional assembly was formed at this time, and the first meeting of constitution assembly was held in 9th December of 1946, and this was the first meeting of constitutional assembly. And in this meeting we discussed about who would be our head. At that, the temporary head of the constitutional assembly was your Dr. Sachindra Sinha. Dr. Sachindandananda Sinha. He was the temporary head, and in this, the first constitutional assembly meeting, the Muslim League boycotted because like they didn't really like the one constitutional assembly thing. So with their 73 total voting of seats, they formed a new state, which is now, sorry, country, which is called Pakistan. Now temporary head Chandra Sinha. Now this meeting went to 11th of December 1946, and in this meeting they made the real head, which was the first head of Constitution Assembly, which is Dr. Rajendra Prasad. Dr. Rajendra Prasad, he was the first Constitutional Assembly head. And some vice president was also there. This was the first president. Some vice president were like H.C. Mukherjee in 25th Jan of 1947. Second was your V.T. Krishnamacharya. Then after this, there was objective resolution resolution. This was held in your now 11 13th December of 1946. This was like kind of a preamble which gives you like a basic idea of the constitution. And in this, the head or the president was your obviously Jawaharlal Nehru. And in this objective resolution, it was said that India is Sir. You could remember as Sir Jawaharlal Nehru Objective Resolution, sovereign, own decision making, independent. Nobody can stop us like Britishers, and sovereign, independent, and republic. Sorry. So republic, basically means that there is no hereditary part in our constitution. एंड इंडिया के अलग अलग हिस्से हैं। इंडिया के अलग अलग हिस्से हैं, सो ये अपना काम खुद खुद निभाएंगे। And India would provide justice on. So India is sir on objective resolution, but India would provide this to us, this justice to us. If they ask what type of justice was providing India at that time of independence, it was SAP. It was social justice, economical, and political. And freedom of thought, expression, faith, belief, and worship, and, and economical and political protection of from backward communities, maintaining integrity of the territory of the Republic of India, and sovereign rights of the land and sea and air, controlling world peace and welfare of mankind. Now, this is a flipping important page. Independence Act of 1947. Independence Act of 1947. This Independence Act of 1947 talks about objective resolution, was unanimously adopted by Assembly on. So in objective resolution, which was brought up in like 13 December 1946. So this objective resolution, so obviously it would be accepted ahead of this date. So if you remember, even the 13 December of 1947, sorry 46, you would know that now he would accept this in 22nd January. This is close enough date, I would say, 22nd January of 1947. This was the official date of objective resolution getting accepted by our constitution unanimously. Unanimously. And princely state who had slayed. Uh, it is a modified version of a preamble and present constitution. It is talked by objective resolution. Then Independence Act of 1947. Princely state who had stayed away gradually joined. So like from 93, this thing went to 70. So like some states, there was 6 states who joined us. It was Banda during this 22nd January, 28th of April. Okay, sorry, 28th of April of 1947. 6 states joined the Indian territory. Banda, Bikaneri, like Bikaneri Mithai, Bikaneri, Jaipur, Udaipur, all the like the middle west side India. Udaipur, Patiala, Patiala, and your Rewa. So like mostly like 6 states, the Punjabi states type, like Rewa, Patiala, Udaipur. Udaipur and Jaipur are like your Rajasthan and that side more. Bikaneri, Bikaneri and Banda. You could remember a Bunda if you know what I'm talking about. Assembly was made by fully sovereign body. So as I told you, India was SEP sovereign. So sovereign, so India independent, this thing was made as fully sovereign body. So sovereign, as I told you, that mean independence. If India was fully independent, that's what they're trying to say. Then the assembly became a legislature body, in other word, two separate function. So this assembly became a legislature body, two separate function: the constitution maker and law making. Law making was given to G.V. Malvekar. The constitution maker was given to your Dr. Rajendra Prasad. And these two functions continued till 20 November of 2020. Sorry, and these two keep functioning till 26th of November of 1949. So basically, this is the Constitution Day. If you don't know, Constitutional Day of India, 26th November of 1926 November, basically. And yeah, for the first time, Constitution Assembly met a Dominion legislature lawmaking body in November of 17 of 1947. So from 26th November of 1947 till your prior date of 17th of November of 1947, the constitution, like dominion stater, when it was first time, like the function of these two started working at this date, then worked till this date. This thing took us 2 year to year or 11 months 18 days. The MLA hailing from Sulat, Baluchistan, Sindh, Northeast West Frontier, East Bengal, and West Bengal withdraw from the Constitution Assembly, and on July 4th of 1947 received royal assent. Bill for Independence. So Bill for Independence Independence Act. Bill for Independence Act Bill was accepted in 4th of July. Okay, remember date 1947. Okay, I can remember this much. 4th of July of 1947, and the Independence Act Bill was received, and the royal assent was in your 14th of something, for sorry 18th, 4 plus 14, 18th of July of 1947. So the Independence Act Bill was received in 4th of July of 1947, and they started working in the 17th of November of 1947. But the Independence Act bill was received in July 4th of 1947, and the royal assent was received in 18th of July of 1947. So like 14 plus 4, 18, you can remember as that. Now the total strength of the Constitutional Assembly came down from 389 to 299, in which 93 was the princely state. They decreased to 70. And you know how, like, the northeast frontier, west frontier, Sindh, Baluchistan, Sulit, West Bengal, sorry, West Punjab, my bad. These and like East Bengal also. East Bengal is like here. So like they are talking about the, what is it, Bangladesh area. Like that was like, as you know, that in your 100th Constitutional Amendment Act of it might be 2000, and what was that, 2016, 17. At that time in India took the some Bangladesh strategy, so that also has a conclude there. So like basically what I'm saying, it got decreased because like they also left the, so 296, which were the British India seats, which were get to allocated, in which the 73 or something like that were Muslim League, they all boycotted, right? So 229 were now at the British India. Now, making of the constitutional plus enacting. So, making of the constitution was what? Ji, Malvika? Enacting law, Dr. Rajendra Prasad. Okay. Okay. It ratified the membership of Commonwealth of Nation in May 19th of 1949, 1949, 4th July of 1947, the Independence Act. Then the Royal Assent for 18th of July of 1947. Okay. Flag Committee 22nd of 22nd of July of 1947. Then national anthem and national flag in 24th January of 1950. National flag and national anthem and national flag. And before this, the Commonwealth was your 19th of May of 1949. 19th of May of 1949. So Commonwealth, flag, Flag Day, 22nd of July of 1947, National Anthem, and uh, National Anthem, and this was flag adopted, and this is national song, national anthem, and national song. 24th of July, January of 1950. Then 24th of January 1950 is President, yeah, adopted Dr. Rajendra Prasad. Constitutional Assembly had 11 total meetings. So this Constitutional Assembly had 11 meetings. First meeting was 9th December of 1946. Then 11th. No, the 11. Yeah, so this was then when Dr. Rajendra Prasad was first elected as the president of the Constitutional Assembly. Now there is committees on the Constitutional Assembly. So there were 8 major committees in the Constitutional Assembly, and out of these Constitutional Assembly major committees, 8 were there. Okay, so first, you could say your drafting committee, as Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Then drafting committee, then your finance, as your K.M. Munshi. Then 2 of states, I think so, 2. And wherever you see state, it is Jawaharlal Nehru. And these states, one are your states and union, wherever union is, the Union Power Committee, union, and your state committee. This is all Jawaharlal Nehru. And now steering committee, and your one more, there is the steering and rule and establishment. This is Dr. Rajendra Prasad, our first president. Dr. Rajendra Prasad, he was at he was at only one state, union 2. So 1 2 3 4 5 6, 5 6 7 8. So these, no, there is one more. There is SC and ST, and your one more is there, SC ST, and giving them guidance type thing is there. What is that thing called? Advisory Committee for Fundamental Right, whatever, advisory. This is on your Sardar Patel. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Then your finance committee, as finance staff committee, Dr. Rajendra Prasad. Then your credential committee as K. Munshi, he is the businessman. Then house committee as Ram and Sita is there. So it is P. Pattabhai Ramaya Sita Ramaya. Then order of businesses came Munshi, obviously business is there. Then your committee on national flag, you are talking about. So flag is the important aspect of a nation. So like it is on Dr. Rajendra Prasad. Then there is your constitution assembly in the function. So the constitution assembly for the function of constitution assembly, it is GV Malvikar as the lawmaker. So you could imagine as the constitution function one two. Then CCPB Sitaramaya as chief chairperson. Then linguistic provisional as SK Dar. So linguistic is the linguistic purpose. So linguistic linguistic provision. So linguistic mean language. Supposedly if you don't know a language of a particular area you are in, then you would be in constant fear. So fear in Hindi is called dar. So dar is the linguistic here. So SK Dar, he was the guy in the linguistic one. Then expect committee on finance. So expect they are talking about. So expect committee on finance and provision on the union, it is Nalai Rajana Sarakan. Then special committee on examine of drafting committee. So special committee on examining, not actual drafting committee. They're talking about special committee on examining examining of your drafting committee. This was given to your Jawaharlal Nehru, obviously. Acharya. Then press on gallery. So you Usha Nath. So like gallery, like girls only do that. Like take a picture and show see in the gallery and all that. So Usanath, only a female name I would say here. Then committee on citizenship was SV Bhattacharya citizenship. Yeah. Now the drafting committee, you're talking about this too much, so obviously it is important. So drafting. So drafting committee members list is first is your obviously Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Then I have remembered that Krishna Bhagwan names. So first is T.T. Krishnacharya. Then there is your Krishnama Swami Iyer or something like that. Swami Krishnama Krishnamachari Swami. Then Bolo Krishna Bolo Madhav. So Madhav is also there. Madhav Bolo Gopal Bolo. So Gopal is also there. So we have done five till now. There are total number of your, I think it was seven. I think so. Yeah, seven number are there in the drafting committee, and the actual committee, a major committee, are eight, but in drafting committee there are seven. So we have done TT Krishnamacharya. They have TT Krishnama. Now we have done your Aladi Krishnamacharya, then Madhav, then Gopal, then there is one SMS. So Sayyid Mohammad Sadullah. So this is another guy. So we have done five, six. Then we have one more, which is obviously your KM Munshi. We also need some business thing here also, right? So Munshis would be there. Then it is declared define the boundary of the communities. It's a constitution thing. It can declare the divine, the nation, nature, and authority of the political community. Non-expert can declare and define rights and duties of the citizens. Can establish and regulate the political institute of a community. Can divide the power between center and the state. Can divide the power between center and the state. That is also a form thing of a constitution can do. Okay, can divide the power between center and state. Center and state power division is done by the constitution. Okay, can declare an official religion and identity of a state of a democratic relation of the separate and state and the secular authority. It can also commit and state and the particular social, economical, and the development goals. Clarification of the constitution. Various type of constitution evolve and enact. Evolved and enacted. Our constitution is enacted because we didn't evolve over time. We were capped, we were under Britishers rules, so we were not evolved over time. We enacted it from various parts of the constitution. That's why you study from like USA, you have taken your like judicial review, independence of judiciary and all that. And like Britain, you have taken single citizenship, rule of law, bicameralism. So yeah, like bicameralism is like two house functions separately, that type of thing. uh then what does bicameralism mean? Upper house, lower house, that division, not state. Bicameralism. But evolved the constitution example is British constitution, because like they didn't really got captured or taken over by any other country. They were just evolved over time. Then enact is like America, because they were also under British rule. And America, India constitution example. Then written and unwritten constitution. A constitution is written, that's why I'm writing it. If it is on unwritten, then I would have not writing this much on. And teaching you was not really teaching you, like you would be able to understand it by just like you would just know what to write and what to not. That's what I'm trying to say. By the way, by the way,
The most romantic game shutdown ever. This game was slowly dying. With every patch, a red star in the sky came closer. At first, players didn't care, but soon, it grew too big to ignore. Then came a nightmare event if you slept. The world would be destroyed. Players began to murmur, wondering if the game was coming to an end. And to make matters worse, monsters began invading even the safe zones, the great cities. At first, it was easy, but as the star drew nearer, the monsters grew stronger, and defenses became impossible. Finally, even the map's background music went silent. Players gathered together, ready to face the end. Then an error appeared, and out of nowhere, a cinematic began. From the red star, an unstoppable invasion poured forth. One sage, realizing the world's end, gathered all will and power, and he shifted everyone to another dimension, revealing a brand new world before their eyes. It turned out this wasn't a shutdown, but a build-up for a remake. The devs knew the game would fall, but for those who stayed, those who witnessed the end of a world, they gave a gift a lasting mark. Most romantic game shutdown ever. Most romantic game shutdown ever. This game was slowly dying. With every patch,
so yeah, and the written as USA, Canada, Japan, US, Canada. Written, I'm talking about USA, Canada, Japan, France, and India. Unwritten are your New Zealand, UK, Israel. What the heck is that? Israel. Whatever the spelling is, Israel. Uh, then there is a rigid and flexible. Our constitution is neither rigid nor flexible. We could say at the middle. So rigid is like Australia or Switzerland. Australia, Switzerland. So from rigid, what they're trying to say is like, how we have constitutional amendments, they don't have that because their constitution is fixed and they would never change it. Now flexible is like they don't need amendments to change that. They just do it at the spot. But we are not neither rigid nor flexible. We are rigid on, like, supposedly Article 32 says that you can go to the Supreme Court if your fundamental rights gets violated. So that is a rigid part of a constitution. You can't even change it with an amendment. That is also written in the constitution that this Article 32 neither can be edited, neither can be shortened, neither can be amendment. So nothing can be done there. So that is the rigid part, you could say, of our constitution. The flexible part, you could say, it is the Constitutional Amendment Act. This is also not a that much flexible, but it is a flexible part, you could say. Then federal or unitary. R is quasi federal. Neither is rigid, sorry, neither is federal or unitary. Federal is like division of power between state and center. We do that, but state and center. But we also have union, and the unitary part is the union thing. But the union would do its own stuff, then the state would do its own stuff, and center would do its own stuff. The state can't enter in business of union, as like the residuary power lies in the union hands. Residuary power lies in union hands or central government hand, and no executive, nothing can do in this. It is residuary power only lie in the union hand. So that is a unitary part of our constitution, and the state and center is a federal part of our constitution. So in a country which have both, you call that as a quasi federal. And quasi say, from quasi I remember a quasi, no, non quan, something like this. This is like absolute certainty. The spelling might be wrong. So the federal part is like USA. You know, like how USA is has coming together federation. Coming together federation in USA, the states come together to make a center. So that is a federal part of the constitution of USA. So some example of this federal part is Australia, Brazil, Canada, Russia, Australia, Brazil, your Canada, and Russia. But the unitary part of the constitution, unitary part is like one thing is there. So that is like your UK, like China. They don't, they have like a main thing that governs them. They don't have state and all that division of power. Then there is Italy and Norway. No way you would have federal power. Norway, they would have unitary power. And Article 354 is provision related to distribution of revenue in times of emergency. Article 354. Article 30, 354. 10 seconds. All the known constitution. Dr. B.S. Hi. Nathan नहीं आ रहा. Two. हैं?
वो दे दो मेरे को ताप दे दो
वहाँ है. छोटा है वो. छोटे ईयरपीस डाल दिया मैंने. वो शिशु तो हो रहा था. कहाँ वाला अटैच हो लेना. In various constitutions. So in USA there are only 7 articles. In Australia there are 128 articles. And in China there are 138. Just 10 more. And in Canada there are 147. Just 9 more. 7, 128, 138, 147. So
क्या भीड़ है ना गाड़ियां दिखाएंगी किसी आगे से आवाज भी तेज करके हम बोला क्या हुआ चलेगा बस चलेगा क्यों है उसको सुना रहे अपने वहां के लोगों को सुना रहे दुनिया को सुना रहे पागल तेरा तो करने को बंद कर ट्रैफिक के रास्ते रास्ते करो हो गया यार कुछ ज्यादा बारह बजे नेपाल लोग ना बड़ा मुश्किल है 12 बजे 3 बजे आना 2 बजे आना जाओ जल्दी मतलब बातें वहां से देख वहां से देखना चल ले मैं इनको बंद कर ये एक डब्बा खा दिया है तूने इनका वहां तो नया डब्बा खुल गया पता नहीं क्या हुआ
Federal system with unitary biasness, all feature of India's strong ways handling of citizenship, flexible integrity, judiciary appointment, and governor by state. India's federal type of government. India as described by unitary and spirit and quasi-federal. Unitary spirit and quasi-federal by KC. Then bargaining, federalism is said by Morenis. जोनस बार्गेन करके ले रखा है, मोर ने कर रखा है. Then cooperation of federalism. ये जाने यहाँ से एक काफी नहीं है. ये जाए यहाँ से. एक पता नहीं कौन है बट. देखो बोलना ज्यादा मुश्किल है, दिखाना बड़ा आसान है.
लाठी तो चलता है ना. लाठी मेरी लाठी मेरी लाठी मेरी लाठी लाठी लाई जा लाठी ओए जाओ.
Cooperating, bargaining side by more, federalism plus centralization, IV Germans. So centralism plus federation by Ivor Genis. So he's gonna iron his Genis with central federalism, and bargain is more, and the unitary in spirit and quasi-federal Cassiver. This is important, by the way. This comes in exam. Iron his genes with central federation. And yeah, this 21 to 18, which was changed voting rights. Earlier it was 21 year plus, now it is 18 year plus. This is done by 61st amendment of your 61st Constitution Amendment Act of 1988. So I just want to finish this quickly. Westminster model is the Britain model we are following. Westminster is a place in Britain. ड्यू प्रोसेस जो भी लॉ बना है वो सिटीजन के लिए है, जस्टिसेबल, ओके, एंड ऑल दिस 61 amendment I told you. Then symbol of constitutional assembly was your elephant. Then advisor of constitutional assembly was B.N. Rao. Rao is giving advisory. Then secretary of constitution assembly was secretary H.V.R. Langer. लेट के सेक्रेटरी जॉब कर रहा अपनी, दैट इज दैट. और हमारा कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन असेंबली का एडवाइजरी दे रहा राव भाई, सिंबल एलिफेंट भाई हमारे. और चीफ ड्राफ्ट्समैन ऑफ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल, सो चीफ ड्राफ्ट्समैन इज योर S.N. मुखर्गे भाई, चीफ भाई हमारे. सो एडवाइजरी दे रहे भाई हमारे B.N. राव, और सिंबल हो गया एलिफेंट, और सेक्रेटरी करा लेट के लेंगर. देन हमारा चीफ ड्राफ्ट्समैन इज S.K. मुखर्जी. देन योर कोरियोग्राफर इन इंग्लिश इज योर बेशरम राम मोहर, and in Hindi it is Vasant Krishna. So Ram in English and Krishna in Hindi. Then font is italic. Then decoration is done by Nandalal Bose, Shanti Niketan University of Campus. Then about preamble, it has been amended by the 42nd Constitution Amendment of 1976. 3 new words: SSI, socialist, secular, integrity, high moral value. Secular is like a secular nation in which there is no single language there. Every language is there. And then socialist is like social work and all that. Then source of the authority: Constitution derived from people of India. Nature of Indian Constitution: declare on the sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic. And objective of Constitution is justice, liberty, and fraternity. Date of adoption of Constitution is like 26th November of 1946. Then sovereign independence of the all the preamble stuff. If you want to read it, just read the preamble. Then democratic regular election regular होंगे. Then directed on people reform and parliamentary interface. SCP, social, economical, and political. Liberty, thought of expression, belief, faith, and worship. Worship is important because like they would ask you what is the last word, then it is worship. Then single citizenship promotes and all that. Now there were cases on the preamble. First was Berubari case. In this, like your like how your 100th Constitutional Amendment Act of 2015 is on like Bangladesh, some territory that we captured. So like when we are like giving like orders that this is our part of a constitution, and like in our constitution it is written as, sorry, in our preamble it is written as, sir, sovereign, independent, and republic. Sovereign mean our own decision is made by our own self. So in Berubari case of 1960, we said that we are taking this part, or we said some statement. So Pakistan from that side said that you don't, at that time we had not taken the preamble as a part of the constitution. It was just a thing, a law type of thing. It was not a part of like a it was not like a constitutional part of a constitution. So the Pakistan sides, they said that you can't do that, but we didn't listen to them. But we took a lesson that we should we should make preamble a constitution part of our body. Then their Golaknath case of Punjab was 1967, was similar. They were talking about the same stuff, but the main one is your Keshav Nanda Bharati case, Keshav Nanda Bharati case, 1973. This took the preamble inside as a constitutional body. Then there is your LIC case, which is 1995. Then preamble is a horoscope of sovereign and democratic and republic. This is said by K. Munshi. Like Munshi is seeing from horoscope. Horoscope is like a magnifying lens, so he's seeing the gold and stuff. You can imagine that. Then soul of a constitution, it is said by Pandit. So like Pandit is watching the soul. So Pandit Thakur Das Bhagwat. So don't imagine from soul you are saying B.R. Ambedkar, but from soul here you are saying thinking of soul as a atma. Atma, you go to the Pandit. That's the logic would connect here. That identity card, like ID card, you know how you have to show in the school. So ID card is said by N.A. Palkiwala. Then keynote of the constitution is said by RS Faust. Like keynote is a like a English term, you know, it sound like English term. So if you see a English name which is like Arrest Baker, then that's the answer. So preamble horoscope you are seeing from a magnifying glass, that is K. Munshi. Then soul, I said soul, you go to Pandit. So like soul of the constitution is said by Pandit Thakur Das Bhagwa. Then identity ID card is said by your N.A. Palgiwala. Then keynote of the constitution is said by RS Faust. Now after this there is like the articles of this Indian constitution start, so I will do in that in other video.